It's everywhere I needed to share messages to. Let's get the game booted up. Make sure I've got everything ready. Okay. I think we're ready to go. I apologize. I had meant to start way earlier tonight. But I had some things I wanted to take care of, and also I ended up having some relatives over to hang out with, so I wanted to make sure we could spend some time doing that. So yeah. But I am kind of getting back into the hang of streaming after having, had a big hiatus, kind of got out of the habit with the second Pfizer shot. So hopefully I'll be able to establish a somewhat more regular pattern. Hopefully tomorrow night, if I do some streaming, I'll be able to do it earlier. I'm thinking next stream we might return to Simpsons Hit and Run, try to beat that, and start the Halo 3 campaign. So we might do that tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have more time and start earlier to be able to do that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to take care of things so that I can be more consistent earlier, try to get back into the groove of things after having kind of lost that pattern, or what pattern was there with dealing with the Pfizer stuff. So now we are going to try to do a little bit of grinding, just a little bit, to be ready for our rival. And then after that, we might need to do some more to prepare for the gym leader. I don't want to grind too much so that it's not much of a challenge, but we've had some close calls, so I feel like I should probably be grinding at least a little more, so... So we'll do a little bit of that before we prepare for the rival. Good poisons are not very powerful in this gen. You can pretty much count on that. I imagine they probably got a lot better in Gen 6. Okay, let's see what trainers are on this route. I think I got a map of where they all are. Yeah, there's like a lot of gamblers here, right? And they kind of look like really old-timey Japanese gamblers. Okay, doesn't do a ton of damage. Seems like it might be faster than me, though. Can't do too much water damage on me, right? But I can't do a lot of damage either. Yeah, let's speed this up with Neo. Or should I have done Pesci? I maybe should have done Pesci because the XP is going to be a bit split now. More trainers up there, so let's go there. Pidgeotto, I haven't seen that before. We should probably switch out. Pikachu's not as powerful as I'd like it to be, and it's not gonna get any better as a Raichu, so... Man, if only we could get Magikarp those water moves. It looks like Pesci's just gonna keep flinching him. Grimmer's attempt to hurt my accuracy failed. We can use Neo for Zubat. Should do the trick. Send out Neo. Oh no, these are both gonna crit. But if we get a confusion, we should take it out. It's a pretty good sprite. So a reminder, I'm doing the Impossible Evos fix for the that you can do in the Pokemon Randomizer app. It's literally the only change I've made. So it means that Kadabra should evolve at level 37 into Alakazam. So I don't have to bother trading with anyone. I think that's a fair change to add when you're emulating. Karate Chop is a really scary move in this game, especially at this point. Because it's got like high crit chance, right? Alright, where are the other trainers on this route? Okay, there's one up there. Nice. Okay, if I miss, then that's not good, so... Doesn't matter, my defense is down if I put you to sleep. Okay, stay asleep longer this time. Okay, I think there's another one down below. Yeah. This guy's laying down cables? Is that what he said? It's like one of the few non-gamblers. fair amount. Will this do better? Okay, no. Okay, it's good at staying asleep. Woke up, but I can't do anything, so that's good. Okay, time to make my way back to heal up. And then we'll come back to get the rest of these guys. I'm not gonna fast forward so I don't accidentally end up in the grass in a potentially difficult battle. Okay, now I'm out of the woods. Okay, how many super potions can I afford? How many do I have? 6. Let's go with that for now. Okay, where else are trainers to be found? Okay, they're all kind of clustered at the right edge now. Probably another engineer, right? So electric types? I think we could just stick with this. Especially if we get some good flinch. Guess we get rid of Scratch, because Karate Chop is just better. But what does Fury Swipes do? It's like... let's go with Fury Swipes. Replace Scratch. That was weird with the audio for a sec. Let's put Neo in front. It'd be great if we could land a Confusion. Drowsy's not quite as strong, but it's good to have a backup Psychic. Okay, let's put Stonks in front now. So I can level him up. Get a nice Gyarados soon. Really? Is that so? As Qui-Gon would say, when you gamble, prepare to lose. Okay, these guys can explode. So I feel like I have to use Stinker on this. Just keep abusing sleep with Drowsy. With Exmo putting the sheeple to sleep. And then there's a trainer up here. And I think that's the final one, the final trainer on this route, and then it's just grinding off of wild Pokemon. That's scary. There we go. Don't have to worry about Hyper Fang. If we can keep KOing these guys, that'd be great. Nice. I wasn't sure considering it's an evolved form. Okay, is that all there is here, and then I can just grind for wild Pokemon. Oh yeah, I should also get the bicycle. Forever Lost 66, thank you for the follow. Just planning out my course of action here. Okay, I'm using this wiki to help me a little bit. I don't think I have 30 or more Pokemon, so I probably can't do the item finder, right? Yeah. Okay, so... yeah, let's get the bicycle. Oh, we got another person part of the Rusty fam. I've had a few of you guys. Thanks for checking in. Yeah, I think I will head to get the bicycle. And then maybe also go through the Diglett's cave. And get Flash, maybe, while we're preparing for the SSN. Okay, let's go to Cerulean. Tony's probably getting some good leveling in the daycare here. Wait, where am I? It's like down here, right? Okay, so now I got the bike. In case we need that. So wait, cut. Oh, that's right. I need to get cut from the SSN. So I shouldn't bother going in the Diglett's cave yet, because I don't have cut. Yeah, so we will hold off on that, okay. Okay, so let's just do some more grinding. Once we can get back to Vermilion and Route 11. Don't really need a bike when it comes to using the fast forward, but... pretty pathetic, aren't you? There we go. Okay, let's get back to Route 11. Do some grinding. So you can't even trade for Farfetch'd in this game, can you? Yeah, I guess not. So even if we did have a spare Spearow, don't really think we could do that. Let's save and let's prepare for the SSN. With a foe such as this, I think I should just go with Pikachu to be safe. Oh man, let's just go with Slam when we can. Okay, if it's at that level, let's give it a try. I'm worried it'll suddenly do confusion and do a lot of damage. Okay, I think these things can have Hyper Fang, so... That's good. Okay, these are big boys. So I think we should use... Did a fair amount. A little bit. Those guys are pretty strong. That sounded odd. I guess the sounds are just like really tied to hardware states and stuff like that. Man, my HPs are so low that's why I'm so scared of certain attacks. Okay, you missed twice and tail whip. There we go. Really trying to bring up Stonks because he's so close to being a Gyarados. Slam that guy out of here. Of course. Ah, damn you. I think they fixed it so you can't spam sleep moves like you can in this gen than later gens. What? Is Thundershock not as useful as I'd like at certain points? Bye-bye, little rat. Come on, just a single encounter. There we go. Guess let's just do like fight once each time so we have a chance to wake up. And we're gonna need to go heal up. Okay, let's go heal up again. Okay, let's continue our grinding. Let's have Stonk in front because we really want him to evolve into a Gyarados already. It will be really useful at this point in the game to have something powerful like that. Okay, let's do Pesci. That does a lot. Okay, we're doing Raichu, not Raichu. Yeah, Pesci does not seem to have great defense. Seems to be a weakness of his. But he's a good hitter. But we could have someone like Exmo take this on. Seems like it's faster. But Drowsy seems pretty strong. We seem to get streaks of a lot of a certain kind of Pokemon. I wonder if it has something to do with how the values are stored. Now let's have Neo take care of it. Okay, let's see if we can take it out with one confusion. Okay, not quite. And with that, let us heal up once again. I think when half of our team hits the yellow, that's a good point, especially with the HP levels at this point in the game. One wrong move could do a lot. And we've had some close calls. Eventually, at some point, I think we'll end up in a situation we just can't get out of. But I'd like to hold those off for now. If it ends up getting too easy, then I'll be a little more risky, but... Okay, now... switch to Exmo. Froze for a sec there. Okay. I think we want Pikachu with this, because nothing else would really counter. Getting a good slam, maybe. There we go. How much damage could I do with this? Okay, not a lot. to not write you. Hopefully we wake up quickly this time. Oh, of course. See, this is why I don't want to do an awakening, because they could just do that immediately. Oh, damn it. I'm gonna zap the hell out of you because you wouldn't let me slam. Okay, let's put Exmo in front. Okay, I think a good confusion should do it. Not quite. Let's put Pesci in front again. Alright, time to head back to the center again. Do a quick heal. Okay, save. Okay, get another good confusion in. Okay, swap to Exmo again. Okay, it's this boy. Yeah, we're gonna have to do, not Raichu when one of these guys comes around. Nice. So Thunderbolt's better than Thundershock, right? Okay. That seems to be the case, so... So that'll help. Okay, I'm noticing we hit our first hour. So, because we're grinding anyway, I'm gonna run some ads for our Twitch viewers. Just a reminder, subscribers will not receive any ads. I don't want to lock any of my content behind a subscription wall or anything like that. I want everyone to be able to enjoy these streams. But if you do feel willing to contribute, it would be greatly appreciated. Because even the smallest donations are probably worth more than ad views. So, and it's a way of showing appreciation for those who do feel willing to contribute. Whoever donates the most, cheers the most, and gifts the most subs, by the time I finish my Pokemon Yellow Nuzlocke series, will be able to nominate a future stream. So if you want to pick something I do in the future, feel free to shoot for being number one in one of those categories. So I'm gonna run some ads while I'm doing this grinding. Checking my notifications if there's anything of note. Okay. Okay, looks like we are back from ads. That definitely feels a lot more powerful. I was worried it was gonna be Pidgeotto. Let's pivot to Stinker so I can heal up not Raichu. That did a lot. That did a lot again. Okay, yeah, if another one of them goes in the yellow, I'm gonna heal up again. Okay, let's heal up again. Those Pidgeotos can be tough. I apologize if it feels like these grinding sessions go on for a bit long, but I feel like we're gonna have to do it. Because even when I do these, like, I still feel like in some instances these guys could be taken out pretty easily. It takes a little while for some of these guys to get all that experience. Should I be grinding on the Diglett in the Diglett cave? But then the Dig Trio are scary, right? Okay, hopefully this does enough. We're gonna get a Gyarados? Finally. He can pull his own weight more. Nice. Let me get the Gyarados Sprite. I'm gonna learn Bite, it looks like. That'll be good. Okay. Let me update. Move around a little bit. There we go. Alright, Stonks should be able to take care of a little more himself once he starts getting some good moves. Let's see if he can take this on himself, if he's strong enough now. Nice! Now we just need him to get some water moves. Seems like he's gonna have way better stats now. Be harder to take down. Okay, so let me look up when these Pokemon, the rest of them evolve. Well, good you disabled Tackle, because I don't need it. Man, taking those quick attacks way better now. Eventually we'll be able to get rid of Splash. Get that out of there. Now those guys are in the yellow. Let's put Pesci in front. Okay, let's go back to the Pokemon Center. Oh wait, we can teleport now, can't we? Let's start using that. Okay, now we can continue grinding up for the SSN. Okay, I think this guy can take on a Pidgeotto now. There we go. Okay, now let's put Exmo in front. Then once we get Exmo level 21, I'll just focus on grinding Pesci up just a little bit, and then we can take on our rival. Nice. Interesting when the music kind of freaks out for like half a second like that. He woke up, but he's now confused. But it's alright, because he's dead. Okay. Exmo's good. So if we just bring up Pesci just a little more, I think we'll be good. Okay, perfect for Pesci. Okay, let's just bring him up to level 23, and then I think that is good. Another Rattata, perfect. Okay, I don't think these have flying moves. Okay, so I think that we don't really need to worry about Pidgeys too much. But we do need to worry about Drowsy. However, I think Stonks can take this pretty well at this point. Okay, more of the good old Rattatas. Rattatas, whatever. Okay, this time, let's switch out to not Raichu. Okay, so Karate Chop should do this. No need to worry about Gust. Okay, we should teleport off of that, though. Everything's looking good. Just bring up Pesci slightly. Okay, once again, let's bring out Stonks. Okay, I think Stonks can handle this. Okay, Stonks once again. Nice. Okay. I think that is good for taking on our rival. I think that's a good level for everyone to be at. Good minimum level. Okay, so who should we have in front? It's looking like he might lead with Spearow. If that is the case, then we should lead with Pikachu. Okay, time to face him. Okay, looks like that was right. Sandshrew. Let's use Stonks, because hopefully he'll get water at some point. Going back to Pesci. Okay, that wasn't so bad. However, the gym leaders does seem like it'll be a bit of a toughie. Because the gym leader, I think, has a level 28 Raichu, which is just woof. I mean, it's just one Pokemon, but still, that's pretty high, and I'm pretty sure it'll be pretty strong. Okay, so now we just need to talk to the captain and get cut, right? Shouldn't have looked. Okay, now we need to figure out if any of my Pokemon can learn Cut. And if so, who do I teach it to? Okay, so Stinker is the only one. So I guess it's good we have him. I think we get rid of Growl. I think we should do that. Well, okay, how do Cut and Scratch compare? Oh, Cut is actually more powerful than Scratch? Okay. Then yeah, let's get rid of Scratch. Let's hope one of these guys can learn Flash. I bet the Psychic types can learn it. Okay, so who would we want to be at a good level for Lieutenant Surge? Definitely Stinker, so we don't really need to bother with Stinker. I'm thinking Neo and not Raichu. We should also be leveling up. Okay, so let's get off this ship. And then I think we should go through the cave, maybe. Go through the cave, now that we've got Cut. Try to get Flash and some of that other stuff. It's a nice little sound. It's a cute little imitation. Pikachu, how you doing? We haven't checked on you in a while. Okay, doing good. Yeah, so let's... Oh, you know what? We should heal first. Might as well. And then we'll go in and make our way through to get Flash and anything else. Get the old Amber. Let's see if we can buy anything useful. Wait, how many Pokeballs do we have? Let's buy at least 6. Ice Awakening, Paralyze. Now let's go to the Diglett Cave and make our way through. Use cut and such. Okay, let's hope we don't come across any Doug Trio, because that can be a bit to deal with. I don't think these guys are really very hardy, so they should go down without too much of a fight. Okay, gonna quickly check my strategy wiki. Okay. Better start leveling that boy up. Okay, so what is there to do here? So, in this game, I could trade a Clefairy for Mr. Mime, but I don't have one, so I don't think that's going to be a possibility at any point. Unless there's somewhere else I can get some Clefairy, but I don't know if I can. So Mr. Mime might be completely off limits. So the building south of that has Flash. And then a Moonstone and stuff. Oh, now that we've got a Pokemon with Dig, we might not need escape ropes anymore. Okay, I should have 10. Oh, I don't have room for it. Okay. I guess let me drop off some stuff. Nice that the Pokemon world is free healthcare. Now let's get Flash, and I guess someone here is Dream Eater. Wait, where's the guy who teaches me Dream Eater? Oh, lower left corner in Viridian City. That might be useful for our Drowsy. And now I can also go to Pewter City and get the old Amber, right? Oh wait, I need to get Flash. Okay, so who can I teach Flash? I'm assuming we would give this to... Who would we give this to? Should probably give it to Expo, because Flash is not actually as useful in this game. So it seems that Neo already has Disable, so I think we can get rid of it. Interesting how much time I've been doing on Gen 1. It'll be interesting when we finally get to move on to the other gens. I've gotten so used to this one. But we got so many more gens to go. They're gonna feel so different. Okay, we'll have to put that away, too. Is that all to do here? Ethan, I'll leave you to think about which one that is, but, I won't be going for too much later. Just making a little more progress. Getting ready for Lieutenant Surge. So yeah, at this point, now that I've cut, I don't think there's anything stopping me from grinding on Route 9. To prepare for Lieutenant Surge and his powerful Raichu. I just woke up for the morning. I crashed at 9. Old man coming through. It's the battle of who is more of the boomer. Who is Boomer? Battle of the Boomer. Okay. So, yeah, so we can go to Cerulean. And do some grinding there before we take on Surge. Get through here, and then when we come out in Vermilion, we'll use that to get to Cerulean. I remember when I was younger, my cousin always was like, yeah, we'll pull an all-nighter, Daniel, when I was over at his house, and he always crashed at like 2 a.m. So. little all bark and no bite in that case. I was like, oh, come on, Brandon, you wanted the all-nighter, right? I don't know if I could have pulled an all-nighter at that point. I have. I've had moments where I had moments in college where I grinded to the point that I, like, skipped entire nights of sleep, and then, ugh, it was a horrible experience. That was me trying to finish, like, my modeling assignments and stuff. I have a natural tendency to procrastinate because I'm just not good in my time, but, like, woof. I don't know. Seems like the industry would be rough on me. Crunch and stuff like that would wreak havoc on me, probably. You never spend all night writing a big assignment because you got it due tomorrow, and so you stay up until like 10 or 11 a.m. to go to the building to submit it, and then you sleep until later in the afternoon where you start studying and preparing to take a test to the testing center. You've never done anything like that? Because I have. I am not great with my time, so I need to work on. I think my anxiety makes me act out in weird ways that might not be entirely rational, and I just panic and deal with the aftermath. And I am naturally a night owl, so... I read something about how, I think this is people with ADHD, but they, like, tend to have a later internal clock, so they just, like, tend to be more active later at night. And that's why a lot of them are night owls. Apparently I don't have ADHD, according to an assessment, but a lot of the times when I read the symptoms, I relate to them. What they said is that my anxiety gives me ADHD-like symptoms, but, so I guess that's what they say. Well, I guess you're a better man than me, because, I do have nights where, like, it's like 2 or 3 or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I need to go to sleep. And melatonin has helped a lot, too, but, then I also have times where I'm like, I'm just not tired. I'm a little tired now, but, yeah, I've had times where, like, yeah. And it is a Sunday, so I'll be able to get some rest. So, if I was doing this, like, before a work day, then that would be a horrible idea.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Ethan. What a weird lineup of schedules, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, as I say, I can't, I just can't stay up late, man. I just don't have that for my internal clock. I'm a freaking old man, dude.
I'll tell you that, when I had Pfizer more like earlier on after I had Pfizer, I was kind of in that camp. I was just too tired to do streams for a little bit.
I couldn't blame you, honestly.
It's a combination of Pfizer and just the heat. I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but it just like sucks the life out of me.
Oh
It's
yeah.
insane.
Oh yeah, no, I know the feeling. The heat just absolutely destroys me too. I haven't been eating nearly as much over the past while. Um, I mean, I had like a 48-hour stretch where I just didn't eat anything because I just like that I just had no appetite and I
Mm,
just was throwing up because I was just so hot.
damn.
Yeah, no, it was bad.
Another thing to keep in mind is I'm not usually a nap person. Like, once my brain is awake enough, I'm just like, okay, I'm just doing the day. Um, but also, I'm really hard to get up, like get out of bed. Like, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to. But with Pfizer and the heat, I was so tired that sometimes I did take naps when I got home from work. I was just like,
Who
ugh.
could blame you though? There ain't nothing wrong with taking
Yeah,
naps.
it's just something
I
I
take
don't
naps.
usually do, so it just goes to show how tired I was.
Ugh, you understand. You understand the pain.
What do you think of my little Nuzlocke team?
Oh yeah, let me click in on the watch stream on the Discord. No, not share my screen, dummy. Ah, pause my game. God damn. Make this bigger. Thank you.
You've
Oh
got
gee,
you
that's a very interesting team.
yeah. I was gonna say you have like your own completely different yellow Nuzlocke that you share in the Discord to compete. Yeah, it's an interesting little team, isn't it? I haven't lost anyone yet, but I have had some close calls, so I was a little
Yeah,
worried that I made my rules a little too easy, but I've had some moments where a few of these guys almost died, so.
when I was doing my Ruby, not my yeah, it was my Ruby. Was it my Ruby? No, it was my Fire Red Nuzlocke. I don't think I lost anybody until I was like at or like just after beating Surge is when I finally started losing Pokemon and
Mm.
it sucked.
I got cocky and almost lost a Butterfree that I had on this team, who's in the box,
Yeesh.
to Starmie. I just didn't realize how powerful Misty Starmie was.
Yeah, Misty Starmie is a real pain in the ass.
And apparently in Yellow, Surge is a really powerful Raichu, so I'm just doing some grinding, and that's scary. So let's go to Stonks.
Not a bad idea. In the meantime, I'm just since it's a Sunday, it's my day off. I got
Nice.
nothing going on. I'm just I just keep chipping away at that Ghost of Tsushima.
Nice.
Yep, I've entered the third act now, and it finally got like somewhat interesting narratively wise. So congratulations to being over 75% done with the story, and then it finally got good.
It
So
gets good
good job.
75% in, bro. Just get that far in, and it gets good then, I swear.
Yeah. Again, this is like one of the most overrated games I've played in recent memory. At least like in terms of like modern like critical and fan reception, like this was the game of the year for so many people last year, and like I'm looking at this like okay, sure, I mean obviously everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but why? Like why what makes this so special? Because from my perspective, I'm just playing another generic open world video game with another generic open world kind of narrative, except, you know, you have the aesthetics of Shogun era Japan with, like a story that's pretty generic of a lot of samurai cinema,
Right.
and very clear of its influences for a good chunk of that story until it kind of takes a little bit of a turn at some point and actually starts introducing some more stakes other than just, ooh, Mongols bad. Uh, like, yes, the Mongols bad, but also, what else?
No, you don't understand. They're really bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I got your whole, like, ooh, I have internal struggle because I must protect my people but go against my honor code and stuff like that. It's just it's a story we've seen time after time again, which is understandable because, a lot of the stories that we see in a lot of Western cinema and, like, kind of, like, action and dramatic roles, of course, Westerns and so forth, were derived from samurai films. So there's nothing wrong with that on its surface. Yet my problem is that uh, there's so much more that we could do with this. Why are we treading old ground when we could possibly write a newer and more interesting story instead of just going through a checkbox of what did Kurosawa and other prolific samurai directors, what kind of things were they doing back in like the 50s and the 60s? And that's what it
Right.
feels like.
So for this Nuzlocke run, I've given myself a 3 tries dupes clause. So I got 3 tries on a new area to get something different. I already have an
Okay.
Nidoran, so this one I can kill.
3 tries dupe clause. Okay.
And even with that, like, I have gotten dupes anyway. I've got 2 Bellsprouts. I think I've got 2 Pidgeys. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
I don't know. Oh, sorry.
no, you
I
go. You
wanna
probably.
complain about capitalism, and you're a great person to complain about capitalism too. Um, hey, Ghost of Tsushima's got a PS5 upgrade coming at some point soon ish. But guess what?
What?
For someone like me who already owns a physical copy of the game on the PlayStation 4, I have to pay $30 to get an upgrade for a game that came out last year.
It's great stuff. Great
I'm
stuff.
getting a free upgrade for The Witcher 3 though, so that came out in
Nice.
2015. So
Nice.
Death Stranding's only charging $10 for their batch of new story missions and some extra like gameplay features and stuff. And that game came out 2 years ago, so I kind of understand why they would charge at least a little something for that. But
They
even then,
need the monies.
they're they're not selling their physical edition for $70 like they're doing with Ghost of Tsushima on the PS5. They're selling that for $70. Last year's game, but with a new map and Japanese lip sync. $70, please.
In other news, Nintendo Switch OLED. Did you see that?
Yes, that's the stupidest thing I've seen, but kind of funny to watch all the Nintendo cucks get mad about something that Nintendo will always do, because Nintendo hates everybody and they'll just keep screwing you over until the end of time.
And then the Nintendo bootlickers who are like,
Yeah, they're like, "Boot, boot, 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 boot."
you can't criticize them if you like their games. I mean, it's like criticizing a friend. It's like,
Nintendo's not your friend, dude. They're a corporation. They're here to make money and
no,
that's it.
no, they're my friend.
Consequences be damned.
All right, let's see if we can catch this Nidoran mail. We got a lot of
Oh, it's
Pokeballs,
funny.
so I think it'll work.
Oh, it is so funny to see all the angry Nintendo fans, all the soy-filled Nintendo fans.
Point and laugh. All right, what should I
Po-
name this Nidoran male? I need to come up with a name.
um, let's see how many characters you got.
I think
Turbo
like
graphics.
10. Turbo graphics? That's what you. Okay. We probably won't even use them, so sure.
Yeah, there you go. Grafx.
Yeah, it'll fit.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh wait, where's my there?
TurboGrafx. Hell yeah.
Nice.
Glad to have named a Pokemon for this Nuzlocke.
Being a part of history right here.
I am a part of history.
Okay.
Oh my god, my last enemy is all the way out there.
Yeah, I used a Nidoking on random red, so I don't think I'd swap out anyone here. I think this is good for now. But of course, we will need backups when one of these guys kick the bucket.
What's your opinion on like Far Cry-esque open world bandit camps? Like you had to clear the bandit camp to unlock this like fast travel point on the map. So you got to run around and either stealth or action and kill the people. You win.
I'll answer in a sec, but I'm going to run ads again. I'm not going to go for a super lot longer, but we've hit another hour, so just a reminder to our Twitch viewers that subscribers will not receive any ads. I don't want to lock any of my content behind a subscription. I want everyone to be able to enjoy. But if you do feel willing to contribute, it's greatly appreciated, because even supporting just with a small amount is worth tons more than ad views. And as a way of showing appreciation to anyone who is willing to contribute, whoever donates the most, cheers the most, and gifts the most subs by the time I finish this Pokemon Yellow Nuzlocke series will be able to nominate a future stream. So if I want to pick something I do in the future, feel free to shoot for being number one in one of those categories. So let me run those ads while I do some wild grinding. Okay, so bandit camps. That's what you said?
Yeah.
So I have not played Far Cry, but I've seen footage. I'm curious about trying some of them, but I do see repetitive patterns in some AAA games, and now if it's interesting combat encounters, I'm all for it. But if it's like to fill out content, you know. There was a time where I was more into playing a game just for the sake of playing a game, but I have a feeling like that could bog something down, but I don't have a ton of experience with that. I did a little bit of Borderlands 2, but I haven't done too many games with full-on bandit camps.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I've played enough of my generic open world western exploration Rudy Tooty shooty games to like really notice exactly what the patterns are. And I don't know. My big thing, because as I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima, like there's some really like there's good bandit camps in this, and like you can make a good bandit camp. You really can. You can win me over, but also, you know, there's a point in where like the line kind of needs to be drawn, and you know, it's just like there's so many of these kind of encounters that are so bland and boring, and it just kind of reminds me a lot of, you know, Far Cry, other open world games that do these things just for the sake of them. Watch Dogs did them too.
Yeah.
You know, it's this is just typical paint by numbers Ubisoft game design.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I'm just I'm tired of it. I really am.
Yeah. So
it's...
like with some of the games that I've streamed, like you see me going for collectibles, like Simpsons Hit and Run. That's mostly so I don't just speed through the campaign levels. I kind of, you know, get to enjoy the maps a little more. But some games where it's just too much effort, I'm just like, nope, not gonna do it. So if I were to do more like Ubisoft games, for instance, like Assassin's Creed 2, I had a lot of fun with that game, never beat it, but I don't think I would go for all the collectibles.
I did twice.
Even games that I really like Pikmin 2, I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to get every treasure, so I'll just stop with the treasure for now.
See, I got to a point in Ghost of Tsushima where it's like I'm in the third act, I'm in the very final section of the map, and then I take a look at the rest of the map, and literally cleared out like every other like section of the map, it's like, ugh, I might as well. I'm already here. Might as well just do the rest of the Ubisoft checklist bullshit and get it over with. Get my platinum trophy and then go play something good. What's really interesting is that this is the same developer behind Infamous and Sly Cooper, so very interested, because, you know, the funny thing is I've never played any of those games. This is my very first Sucker Punch game.
I really liked Sly Cooper when I played that one. That's definitely one of the games I played at a friend's house, hanging out. Like, so that's like Friends Hangout Core, that and stuff like Ratchet and Clank, Destroy All Humans, Simpsons Hit and Run. You check them out for the first time at a friend's house while they're like, what's the film term, in media res? Like, basically you come in and they're already a little bit into the game and you're like, oh, what you playing? And then you keep playing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had many a game.
That's the best way to sell a game to someone, is like, in media res, see them playing at someone else's house. You're like, oh, what's this game? This looks cool.
I've had that for a few people, even like kind of somewhat recently. I've talked a lot about like games like God Hand, because I need to get back into God Hand, and that's gotten a few people. It's like, it's on their radar now. They now know what it is. I'm like, yes, learn about God Hand.
Yeah, I was proselytizing a little about Chibi Robo at the used game store. The only one remaining in the Orem Provo area, after the other two have fallen prey to capitalism and have died. But yeah, I was there, and I was looking at they have like Diamond and Pearl for like $90, and they had just the cartridge for Black 2, and it was like 150 or something. And I was talking about Chibi Robo, because we were talking about game prices, and I was like, yeah, I really want to recommend this game to people, but like, it's like $200. How am I gonna tell them to just go and get a copy?
Yeah, no, this is it's sucks. I hate that so much.
It's unfortunate.
It's why you know, totally not gonna tell people to emulate. Don't do it. Do not get an emulator to play a game that would normally cost you hundreds of dollars to get your hands on and play it on original hardware. And that original hardware definitely will fail on you one day. It will come, and those parts will get harder and everything, but no, you have to play it on the original hardware. Don't emulate. Do not emulate at all.
Even though
please.
Nintendo gets no money from it, and even though it just goes to scalpers who abuse scarcity.
Exactly, yep. Just don't do it. Do not emulate your games, seriously.
This is the copy of Nintendo Power, which is the reason why I have Chibi Robo, because I saw it in this Nintendo Power, and I was like, oh, Mom and Dad, we gotta get it! So I thank this for the reason why I have this rare game. I was looking at my stack, and I was like, oh yeah, there was that one copy that it got me to get Chibi Robo.
I've got some like somewhat rare like 360 PS3 stuff, but I don't think I have anything like that for the PlayStation 2 or the GameCube. I guess I got a Gauntlet Dark Legacy, which I guess is like, and I don't know if I'd really say if it's all too rare or desirable, but even then it's still kind of a little pricey. I guess I've got Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes for the GameCube. There you go. That one. Yeah. But I mean, it's Metal Gear. I'll waste money on Metal Gear. That's just the slut I am. I fully acknowledge it.
Okay, let me... Had to make sure to heal at this Pokemon Center, so I'll teleport to it now.
Metal Gear.
Ugh. Okay, so let let's continue grinding off of these trainers. I think I
Definitely,
got
as soon as I'm done with this, I'm probably gonna unplug the PlayStation 5 again for a while. Probably hook up the PS3 and find something to play on that. That's so fun. Ever since I've gotten like into the newest generation of consoles, I've spent more time in the 7th gen and on my PC than. uh, it do be like that.
Well, I mean, usually they start off pretty slow.
Yeah, I mean usually they do. Oh my gosh, why do I keep dying? Oh, I guess I have to wait until I get some sort of more story progress before I go to an area that's too cold. Ooh, sorry. Sorry, I tried to have fun in your open world.
Pokemon is the most contrived excuses for why you can't go certain places. There's the infamous screenshot in Pokemon X where it's like, there's a power outage in this part of the city, but because it's like the clock is set to night, you can see the lights on in the part that's supposed to have the blackout. And then in Black 2 and White 2, I think, there's just a whole bunch of row of people, and they just, if you talk to them, they're just like, we're dancing here for no reason, someday we'll leave here for no reason. It's just the most contrived scenarios.
Amazing. Oh, that does remind me, I still haven't even finished my Soul Silver run. I haven't just been really happy with the team that I have at the moment. I'm just not really finding Pokemon that really click with me at first. But I know, like, they are there. I just need to get to them. In fact, I need to go back to the tower, maybe catch a Ghastly and grind that Ghastly up. Because I do love Though, obviously, I can't get a Gengar. I don't know anybody who's got a Soul Silver or a Heart Gold cartridge around the place I can trade Pokemon with, unfortunately, but... oh well.
If I happen to get a Heart Gold or Soul Silver one, I'll let you know. Can you trade with Diamond and Pearl?
I do have Diamond and Pearl. Can you trade between those?
Because I have Diamond.
A little bit?
Like, I don't know if the servers are still up, but maybe we can figure something out that way.
I don't know if you need servers or if for trading, if you can just go peer-to-peer. You should be able to just wirelessly connect between the two. Because you could always do
like in the
net
same
play.
spot, though, right?
Yeah.
But also, I do know that I think people have hacked the servers and created their own that you can join onto.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like Pikachu's real happy.
Yeah, because I've got... I do have my own copy of Diamond. I think they can... I think Diamond and, like, Soul Silver and Heart Gold...
in the same gen can do that.
Yeah, because I think they're all technically Gen 4.
Yeah. It's interesting, as I've studied more about Gen 2. It seems like Gen 2 was designed differently from Gen 3 onward, because... It seems like Gen 2 was kind of envisioned more like an expansion pack rather than a full sequel, because, like, you use a lot of Kanto Pokemon in the game, right? And you go to Kanto again, so it seems like they went with a different approach with Gen 2, whereas Gen 3 on, where they're like, oh, we'll just do fully new stuff each time.
Oh, yeah. No, it's certainly interesting.
Yeah.
Ooh, is that the leader of the camp? Ooh, hello. Cut your head off.
I think another problem I have with AAA games, aside from, like, stuff like bandit camps, is, like the real driving force behind the writing is, I mean, because, like, a lot of these games are so, like, lacking in any real ideology, because they're going for consumption. Because, like... I've been watching, I was watching today, Dylan was playing Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and it looks like a really fun game, but, like, I can't help thinking that what I saw of, the kind of dystopia that it's set in seems like very vague ideology, less just oh it's oppressive and people need to be free, but there's like no obviously there's no like sophistication to that.
If I remember correctly, I think the first Mirror's Edge actually like tried to say something about like,
Oh,
oh
nice.
yeah, we kind of live in a weird dystopian hellhole, and kind of like actually talk a little bit about the politics of that. But
Right.
of course, it's an EA published game. By the time you get the sequel, it's like, we gotta sanitize this for as much as possible. We have to appeal to the gamers TM.
Because if we
We
point a
can't
finger
have
too much
politics.
at the real problems, then we might point the fingers at ourselves. It's the problem.
Yeah, that is the problem.
Which is why it's cool when you have a game like Final Fantasy VII that's just like, no, just take the planet back. Like, just straight
Yeah,
up do that.
it's like, sup, dudes, eco-fascism. No,
No, it's eco
I know,
socialism.
I know, that's a joke.
Yeah.
I know, I need to play. Well, I tried playing Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah,
I
you're
can't.
not as into
I can't.
JRPGs, but
I can. I might try the remake though, because I do like my action game combat. So
nice.
I do like my action games.
Oh, that did a lot of damage.
And my boss told me, because he's a big JRPG guy, and we talk about the video games at work. And I was talking about Nier Automata and how I was like really into that, and he's like, "Well, I think if you really like Nier Automata, you probably will really like the Final Fantasy VII remakes." I'm like,
Mm.
"Well, I mean, I claimed it on PlayStation Plus, so it's like, I mean, sure, at some point, yeah, I'll definitely play it."
Yeah, I've been really trying to meet games halfway as they were designed at the time. Like, like even if a game was designed very older than what I'm used to, like go out of my way to not like be biased against that, but like there are times where, your natural biases just pick in
Yeah,
like older Pokemon, like I really appreciate a lot of the quality of life changes they made later on. Okay, so I think this is a completely different route. So, yep.
See, I think for me, like my whole kind of meeting games halfway is that I can do that, but then also I do need to understand that like obviously I have my tastes I need to keep into consideration, and I need to learn to not force myself to play something that's just going to really just drag me down, because
Right.
I do have a tendency to do that. Again, I'm like 100% in Ghost of Tsushima. Like, like I don't hate this game by any stretch of the word. Like, it's like a 6 out of 10. Like the most like kind of generic, like slightly good AAA game that's out there. But if the game was like any more kind of derivative than this, I sure wouldn't force myself to go through something like it, or I probably would. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I just kind of need to find that fine line for myself. It's kind of hard for me to draw at times.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's a bit of a pain. But it also kind of helps me to experience new and interesting experiences, and also can kind of look and see how games have evolved over time, and see what things I may miss from those older generations, and
Yeah.
what things I'm kind of happy to see are gone.
Something that I'm like especially picky on is UI. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
think especially like old computer games where before like I'm talking especially like when OSs were like very command prompt heavy rather than like actual visual UI like that kind of stuff. I'm like, ugh, that looks clunky to play. Like
You ever
having
played a System Shock? Looks like you're playing a graphing calculator.
oh boy.
It's bad. I've tried playing the original System Shock. I really, really tried, but it's like, dude, I'm playing a graphing calculator. This sucks. I can't. So
Right.
I just like watched the whole story and everything. I'm like, that's a freaking great video game story. Awesome, great characters, really interesting world, but man, that gameplay. I do not want to play a graphing calculator.
Right. Well, what should I name this Magnemite that I just caught on this new route?
Um, um, let's see. I'm trying to think of like maybe if we could do a pun or something, like an electricity pun or a metal pun. I don't know. Tinfoil. There you go.
Tinfoil. I was think I was thinking maybe ICP, cause
There you go.
fucking magnets. How do they work?
How do they work? Do that.
Yeah, ICP. And we probably will box him because we need to level up this Pikachu anyway, and having another electric would be kind of redundant. We have 2 psychics, but that's because psychic is just the best type in this gen. So
Oh yeah. Oh, I just did a freaking cool move.
nice. Always good to do cool moves.
Oh yeah. Shoot a guy with a giant bow and arrow, and he falls to the ground, and then I run up to him and do a kickflip in the air and just put a sword
Whoa,
right into his
dude.
shoulder.
So
So
sick.
cool.
So
So
sweet.
cool.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll definitely give Ghost of Tsushima credit for if you ever decide to play it is that I do like its combat. It's got a really fun combat system, but that's like its like one huge major saving grace in an otherwise like really generic, Western AAA video game.
Right. Well, if even if a game hones in on one thing really well, that can help save the rest of it.
Oh, it certainly does. I do very much love going into the combat. Even some of the stealth encounters are pretty fun, though I will admit, like, the stealth is very generic video game stealth. Hide in the very obvious tall grass where you could very easily be seen, but you're clearly not, and then go and stab the people in the back and whatever.
Man, forced stealth segments. Those can be something sometimes.
Yeah, they have a few mandatory stealth missions, but usually they try to do that whole play it your way thing that was like a really big like marketing trend in
Play it your
AAA
way,
video
gamer.
games. It's like, whoa guys, you like stealth, cool, like play it stealth. Oh, you like action, do action. You can do whatever you want, dude.
I just imagine in my head like E3 speak kind of selling it. I actually imagine in my head Reggie Fils-Aimé saying like, play however you want to play. Something like that.
If it's not fun, why bother?
That man was quite the personality.
The Chad Reggie versus
Yes.
the Virgin Ninja.
Ugh, Ninja. He seems real cringe.
Ho ho. Aha. A
A funny pun. Punny
A
fun.
funny joke.
Okay, let's put Neo back in front.
I have decided though, in my infinite video game wisdom, to change the name of open world AAA Western video games. I've found a term for them. I'm just gonna start calling them checklist games going forward. They're checklist games. That's all
That
they
makes
are.
sense.
It's just a bunch of icons on a map, and they're just like, here, go do it. And it's like, okay, you're just having me fill out a checklist then. Nothing wrong with that on the surface and everything, but it's what it is. It's checklist game.
No, it's not that. It's more than that. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. I think. What level is everyone at? Okay.
Okay.
I think
Almost
maybe
done with this
we'll
bit,
do
okay.
a little bit of rock tunnel stuff, and especially trying to catch something in the rock tunnel, and then we'll head back to Surge.
Surg.
Lieutenant Surg.
Zerg.
I gave Exmo Flash.
Destroy the black powder cache. Hooray! I've done the. I did it. I did the. I did the bandit camp. I did the bandit camp. I'm done. Hooray! I did the bandit camp. I go win the game, guys. Hooray! I beat the generic AAA video game.
Let's see. Okay, looks like this Cubone's a little higher level. We could just do Cadabra though. Oh boy, that did a lot.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, I'm
I
switching.
saw that.
I'm switching to stonks.
Yeah, understandable.
That was scary.
Oh, dang it. I was going to say something. I totally forgot. Oh, yeah. So, I think it was really funny. You remember, of course, because who could forget how awesome gamers are as people. But you remember the whole, nonsense over The Last of Us Part 2 last year, of course.
A little bit. As someone who has not played it,
Yeah, so now I've played both because people put up a fake war between both this and Ghost of Tsushima for whatever weird reason. Though they're like not really they're different games, though they are kind of the same design philosophy,
well,
I feel, in a lot of ways.
Real interesting culture war of that was The Last of Us Part 2 and SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Oh my god, I remember that. I've played that game too.
I definitely enjoyed what I was playing in Rehydrated, and I agreed with the sentiment that they didn't need to, like that the whole point was just, repackaging it, it's a 6th gen platformer, we know, but the kind of reactionary element, that was sure interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly would say, because I have a ranking of the 2020 year on Backlogged of the video games
nice.
I've played, and yeah, I mean, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is higher than The Last of Us Part 2, but I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna make a direct comparison between the two. Like, they're completely different games.
And I would probably approach that similar to how I think of Simpsons Hit and Run. It's like, yeah, I know what it is, but also I don't need to pretend that that's a masterpiece either.
Exactly, it's not.
There's a movie discussion group that I'm a part of. Technically, it got Thanosed by the Zuck, and so it's been reformed. Because there's an old one for years that had thousands of people, and the new version doesn't even have 1,000 yet. But
ouch.
People will always be like, underrated Kino from my childhood, and post whatever animated movie they've seen. And one of the mods, he's got interesting opinions that I don't agree with. He basically just does not like animation most of the time at all.
Really?
We had an unlikely alliance because I was like, yeah, I agree with him. You guys need to stop pretending. Just because you really liked the SpongeBob movie growing up doesn't mean that you have to be like, oh, this is the greatest Kino of all time when we're trying to talk about, John Cassavetes or, trying to get real deeper cuts. And you don't need to be like, oh, yes, this has to be an absolute masterpiece because I liked it when I was younger. No, you could just be like, oh, I like it because it was fun. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece.
No, not everything you like needs to be a 10 out of 10.
Exactly.
You can acknowledge flaws in the art that you enjoy. I mean, sure, you may certainly enjoy many 10 out of 10 masterpieces and so forth. I've got my fair share of them. And of course, it's all subjective at the end of the day, but
yeah.
But also at the same time, you need to, kind of take a look. It's like, well, is the SpongeBob SquarePants movie a 10 out of 10? I mean, I've seen the movie plenty of times. I really like the SpongeBob movie. I think it's a ton of fun. I think it's a great movie, but would I give it a 10 out of 10? No.
And
I think it's
a
7 or
it's
a 7 or an 8.
Groundbreaking thing. No, it's
No.
just a fun little cartoon movie.
No, yeah, and it's great for that. It does what it sets out to do, and it does it well.
Yeah. What should we name
It's a
this
good movie.
Zubat?
Ooh,
Hmm. What would be a good name for Zubat?
did he escape a China laboratory? According to the liberals right now.
I do not want to play into that. No, no, no. No. Not gonna play into that. I'm kind of thinking Robin, and here's why. Robin Williams, Batty, and Fern Gully. So,
Hey, there you go.
so I'm thinking Robin. Especially because we probably won't use this guy. Zubat is not great. I don't think Golbat's that great. So,
I do like Golbat.
yeah. But I don't know if he'd really be a good replacement for anyone here. And I actually did use a Crobat in Pokemon Black 2 when I played that game, so. Okay, so
Nice.
Zubat named Robin.
So funny to watch. Sorry to bring up that, but I don't know. It was just funny to watch liberals just hardcore flip flop on their COVID theories and everything.
The
Gee, it's almost
American
like they're
people
not.
are so Pavlovian. It's unbelievable.
It's yeah. We do be living in a
No, it was
society.
racist. It was racist. Oh well, actually, maybe they have a point. Maybe that is something we should take because the CIA. I mean, Adrian Zen said so. So I guess yeah, and like the kids in cages stuff and like that and what's really shocking for a lot of people, some people are being woken up to this, but some people are like, I see, but like everyone, like so many people were upset about Trump, and a lot of people are realizing, oh, these people were just upset that he was rude, and that was like
Yeah.
it, and then they're like, oh, I see how it is. It's a little different than I thought it was.
Yeah, people just they're fine with the same old bullshit system. They just
Yeah.
want the face of that system to be a jolly happy facing person because they don't want to confront the issues that face everyday lives for people that aren't them.
Right. And something that I've really emphasized lately is the need to understand the whole picture. Because this is a
Exactly.
problem I've had with some on the American left, and even with Bernie, is not understanding the place that America has in all of this, in that we are oppressing the rest of the world, and if we are only focused on the domestic, then we cannot properly manage that. Because if we're just focused on trying to make things nice for ourselves while still letting the CIA overthrow whatever country they want, like Haiti, then it's not gonna be good. It's gonna be real bad.
Oh yeah, no, certainly. And as someone from my perspective, because we're generally along the same alignment, though I do feel that I guess in some ways, because we kind of talked about our general political alignments a while ago, and we do
Yeah.
differ in some places.
And
You're
I
more
think
authoritarian than I am, but
it's good to like know your ally and know your enemy. So like, because
exactly, yeah.
like there's the joke that like leftist groups are constantly splintering,
Oh
and
God, they always are.
and on some level people should beware because there are infiltrators, there are bad faith actors, and for instance with liberals, sometimes you can maybe get something out of them, but at some point you might need to be like, yeah, I just can't associate with this. It's not going to do me any good to focus on always being, busting my ass for the DNC or something like that. But like on what you can orient around, you should definitely be looking to unify over that. And it was a conversation I was having with someone else who is a bit, also kind of a little more associated with you, but also like where you are on the political scale, but also when I was bringing up that I was trying to learn more from some ML type people, they were like, well, like Lenin went after the anarchists and stuff like that, and I was like trying to explain that. So like for instance, Luna Oi from Vietnam, I've been trying to learn a lot from her about what is the perspective in Vietnam, and I've been learning as the more I learn about other countries, the more I realize, oh, like America makes it hard for the rest of the world, and in a lot of these countries, you either die fighting, you either fight, be willing to sacrifice your life for something, or you get taken over, and just like all these like complicated things, and the need to really know who the real enemy is and not splinter when it's not needed. Like, obviously, there might be situations where people who do find themselves thinking they want the same thing, maybe they will clash over something, but like, focus on making useful allies rather than creating as many enemies as you can.
Yeah, that's a problem that's all over left spaces as a whole. It just drives me up
Because
a
you see what the
wall.
right wing does, and people who should be disgusted by fascism, because they can see what it's gonna get them, they sign up for it anyway, because, well, is this anti-communist? Does this mean that I get to keep my stuff? Then okay, I'm gonna sign up for it no matter what it is. And so that's why you get such unity on the right, because there are splinters, but like they're like, I want to keep my stuff. These guys are fighting the people who want to redistribute stuff, so I'm gonna team up with them. They
Become
just
one of me then. Become
they
an anarcho-communist then. Join my side.
they just become they just simplify, and that's also part of why they will eventually team up with the fascists, and that's why what used to seem like a big hot take, and now I'm like, oh, this is just science, is the liberal establishment will side with the fascists because they are anti-socialist. Now, a
Yep.
lot of those liberals might become socialists, and then they won't become fascists, but that's where the power will lie. It will
Wow, that
uphold
sounds a
the...
lot like what happened to me.
Yeah, exactly.
I was kind of in more liberal spaces and so forth when I started paying attention to politics as I was beginning to exit high school. And then, of course, as I'm paying attention to things, I voted for Bernie during like the 2016 primaries. Though that's still, I was still a piece of shit, misogynist, shitty human being.
Yeah, you gotta take
And
steps.
yeah, and even though like my heart, I guess, was ultimately in the right place, I feel at the very end of the day, I was still a shitty person, and I still had shitty opinions, and was kind of falling slowly but surely into an alt-right pipeline. But I guess I just kind of had the self-awareness to pull out of it as fast as I could, and I was like, this is weird, man.
I
Like
kind of got
watching
suckered into a
Sargon
little bit
videos,
of...
I was like a big Sargon fan, like 2016 era, whatever. And eventually I just had this point where I was like watching one of his videos, and I'm like, this is really like, I'm getting a weird like feeling in my gut while I'm watching this. Like, I feel bad. Like, maybe I should like reflect on this, and I did. And I'm like, yeah,
That's the
time
thing.
to find another political ideology.
Yeah, I never fell in that bad, but like, I would pick up on like subtle things, and that's how they get most people, I think. Like,
Oh yeah,
oh man, these feminists sure are being really
that's what they did.
extreme, or like I think another example is like some of the stuff iDubbbz did that is it's a little questionable. Um,
Yeah.
and but just like you gotta slowly figure out that stuff. But like, what really solidified for me the liberal fascist thing, because originally I guess you could say, pilled on that by non-compete, like way before I could have processed it. I was like, what, really?
Non-compete's great. Yeah, that was a
Non-compete
great
is
recommendation
so
by
good.
you, by the way. Yeah. Because I feel, because he's more on that anarchist kind of side of things, I
Yeah.
feel, and that's kind of where I've drawn a lot of like interesting things for me to think about and kind of help shape kind of what I'm thinking of. Though I've spent a lot of time watching a lot of other kind of like left-based content and so forth, but
Yeah.
I've now taken a lot of that and I've began to apply it into reading theory now. I've actually, I don't know if, I think I told you, I've been reading Engels,
Yeah, you told
actually.
me I need to read
Yeah,
Engels.
yeah, I'm still reading through the State of the Working Class in 1844 in England, I think is what the
Nice.
exact title is, but so far, really good, some real freaking bangers in that book. I'm only like
Nice.
17 pages in, because I mainly just had the time to read it at work,
Yeah,
funny enough,
I need to read
reading
more.
Engels at work.
It's been a while since I read. But
Though,
yeah.
next, I'm gonna read The Conquest of Bread. I've been looking
Ooh,
forward
that
to
would be a
that
good
one.
one. I
Yeah.
Once I finish the last chapter of Capital, I'll probably do Lenin, State and Revolution, but I've not been great at reading, so I need to get better at doing that.
I
But
should
but
read a little more into the authoritarian kind of side of things. I've been interested. There's just things though in authoritarian, just like the real like hardcore Nosbol kind of
oh
shit
well,
that
not
I'm like, yeah, I
no
can't, yeah,
Nazbol. I mean anything Nazi like no. I'm not interested.
yeah, there's just shit like death camps and
Or
stuff
like
like that, and there's just things about communism like the full blown like full set kind of like, to the book Soviet era kind of communism that I'm like,
yeah, and I
I'm
think
like,
any real leftist worth their salt, even like pro Stalin people, any of them who are like worth their salt should be able to acknowledge problems these people did and
yes,
why the solution would
nobody's
not be to
perfect.
just LARP as what already happened.
Exactly. Yeah, they'll just sit around and just be some like weird Stalin simp or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, dude did terrible shit, okay?
Like, there's
Like,
a reason the Soviet Union fell apart, so we should probably analyze what problems came up during its existence to know why it fell apart at a certain point.
yeah, gee, why did these issues happen and what can we do to try and
Yeah.
circumvent them in the future?
Like, yeah, maybe we should look into some of the stuff Gorby did. Like, maybe take a look there. But another example I would think of is I'd be very curious to see what the people who actually support this group would think, like their actual genuine take. But from what I've seen, the Shining Path of Peru from like the 70s and 80s seems like one of those organizations that was communist and just like did not seem good to me from what I've seen. They seem to terrorize people and have a very weird interpretation that just seemed very off base. So that's an
Oh,
example of
I'll need to
like
look into that. I haven't heard of that actually.
Bad Empanada is a good video on it. There are people who support, and I think Rage Against the Machine had a video that kind of implied support for their leader. But from what so I would be curious to see what their actual case for them was, because it seemed to me like their extremist tactics did not help the working class much and just ended up terrorizing a lot of them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all, I guess, are in that same boat of, we all need to learn more about, I guess, kind of the world around us and political theory and so forth. We're
Yeah.
always growing and learning and so forth. But
Yeah.
yeah, because I haven't heard of that before, but I'm more than interested
Yeah,
to
there's
kind of
so
check it
much
out.
to
I'm
learn.
curious.
Always more to learn. I
Always is.
like it reminds me of how like when I used to be a Mormon, like my understand like the stuff they would teach in church, I'd just be like, when have I heard anything really new in like years?
Exactly.
And then I see like Exmo stuff, and it's like, boom, like it just like I start learning all these new things. I feel like that way when I like learn new leftist things. It feels like I will never stop learning new things about the world, like
Oh yeah. No,
whereas
it's awesome.
the neoliberal way is like work hard and achieve the American dream. It's just the same like pithy little platitudes.
Oh yeah.
But
It do be
Non-Compete
like that.
and Luna Oi are like my favorites because they
Luna Oi.
consistently have some of the best takes. They're married. So like
Oh, okay.
so to give you a sense of this relationship, Non-Compete, anarcho-communist, Luna Oi is Vietnamese, so she's like more and here's the thing, I'm not like completely in that camp. I would just say I'm like if gravitating, but like she's like more the ML like traditional Vietnamese communist perspective,
Okay.
and they both have great takes. Like so, Non-Compete, he's an anarchist, but like he when he sees like the Vietnamese government doing something that's really helpful for the people, he's like, yeah, that's a really good thing they're doing, and like Lun Oi will share examples of how the Vietnamese criticize things that their own government has done, like they, protest certain this bill gets proposed, and they're like, no, we don't want that. Um, so I think like the way they complement each other in how they're clearly different approaches, but they're both united because they're married, obviously, and
Yeah.
like how they have really well thought out takes. Like consistently, I think some of the best takes because the more I've explored what these people, what a lot of these big content creators post on Twitter, there will be times where I see a take where I'm like, but like generally, I think they have had the most consistent, solid approach to viewing things, and it's evolved over time. Like, I think Non-Compete had a good perspective on Hong Kong at the time, where it was kind of like, we should be pushing for workers' freedoms and stuff wherever, but we should also like be wary of attempts of infiltration. And I have not explored
Yes.
this as much, but apparently stuff has come out recently that there was CIA involvement trying to infiltrate that. And so, like, we did not know everything about what was going on there, and I still don't know a lot about, like, the real stuff beyond kind of the narrative we've gotten, but, like, it's been interesting how, like, he was like, we should potentially watch out for maybe something like this being a part of it, and it turned out, oh, damn, seems like it might have been.
It do be like that, unfortunately.
And that's the thing. They make it so hard. Like the CIA makes it so hard to just like trust people and get along because you don't know if like is this person just got a weird opinion? Is he in the right? Is he a mole? Like and like and the goal is to make them more paranoid, make them act out more, make them seem more unhinged. Like the CIA policy was meant to make a lot of the governments, like the communist governments, more paranoid and more, like a little more repressive. And then they would point to that and be like, "Oh, see, look how they are." But it was because they were like trying to egg that on, and then pointing at it like, "Oh, see what they're doing," not having the full picture of, "Oh, they did that.
Yeah.
They did that because you supported terrorists and stuff like that." So like that's the thing. The CIA just loves to make things messy. Loves to make things not morally clean. Because, like, it is insane how much they wanted to take out Castro, how much they tried. I've been learning more recently about, like, potential CIA connections to domestic American events. And the Bay of Pigs may have had huge repercussions, like its failure and the CIA being furious that it failed might have been implicated in why JFK was assassinated, why Nixon had Watergate happen. I heard a very interesting take from a podcast where they posited that a lot of the people who got caught in Watergate were sloppier than they usually would have been, and that basically, like, putting forth the idea that maybe it was meant to pin everything on Nixon like as payback for him not entirely delivering on deals he had made, like to get to where he was. Like he basically sold his soul to certain people to get where he was, and when he wasn't delivering as much, they kind of tried to pin a lot of stuff on him. And obviously he was paranoid, but they kind of put him into a trap with that. They were like wanted it to all unravel on him.
Okay.
And like I don't know if that's what actually happened. And that's one of the frustrating things about the intelligence community is that like a lot of that stuff is just gone and we'll never know the full details, all the data. But
oh yeah.
But like at least having like though that potential perspective, like it gives you something to ruminate on what might have been, a possibility. Okay, I think I'm gonna heal at this Pokemon Center out here. Because I was listening to a podcast talking about George H.W. Bush, and there is a lot of shady stuff around the Bushes. It's insane.
Oh yeah, undoubtedly.
So, like, in the late 70s, it was assumed that that was the first time George H.W. was a part of the CIA. But it turned out when JFK was killed, he was, like, one of the first people notified, and it was, like a message that was, like, secret clearance. And Also, he says he has no idea what he was doing that day, but I think he was in Dallas. So. And that's the most frustrating thing about these kinds of situations is you never have all the pieces. So you can never confidently say, it was this, it was that. But you can see enough stuff at the edges where you're like, this is fishy. And what the podcast was saying is, like, it's obvious that what Bush says sounds fishy, but the whole point of it is to leave no threads to unravel. Even if you try to make if you try to make a good excuse or whatever, you want nothing there. So even if it's fishy, there's nothing to grab at. If he tries to say what he was doing, or if he tries to explain, even if it would sound more reasonable, it would also be something you could pull at. And that's what the podcast was kind of theorizing is the modus operandi of situations like that, where it's like obvious there's something, but they just gotta keep it so there's like almost nothing you can pick at.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Again, there's a lot of dates, events, interesting things to consistently think and ponder about that I obviously need to do.
Yeah, and
kind of look
that's
up
the thing,
over
is
time.
like they are making it hard. They want to make, like, the CIA wants to make finding the as objective truth hard. They want to muddy the waters so that actually getting a clear perspective is a task that most people just can't afford to do. And that's what's so frustrating, is that, like, to move past that requires a lot of effort.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. But I
will say, though, interestingly, I wouldn't say this is even a counterpoint, but one thing I have seen that is kind of interesting, I've seen in a lot of left spaces, primarily more the authoritarian side of things from what I've seen, that if there are people, even those, quote-unquote fellow leftists, maybe those in kind of more my position, more in the libertarian side of the left, though I'm not libertarian, though. Like, oh, you God.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Not about ready to go date little girls or something freaking weird shit like that.
Libertarians have an essentially juvenile understanding of the world. And also
Yeah,
they don't
what? I need a license to toast my toast or something now, huh?
and they also don't realize that their vision of the world requires a whole lot of infrastructure around it and the privilege of being on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, yeah. It's batshit, to say the very
it's for
least.
people who are entitled.
Yeah, I'd very much agree to that. But the one thing I've kind of seen that's a little interesting in some left spaces is that if there's like really any genuine criticism of ideas or even just like discussions tried to be made about, hey, not necessarily in on that perspective or something like that, it delves into fighting so fast. But
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of deflection tactics used. One of which is that people will just write off criticism of their ideology as, oh, that's a CIA talking point. They want you to think that because this and this is like, no, dude, I'm just not on board with death camps, dude. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of
That's the problem with
oversimplification
Twitter
of,
is that it really simplifies things.
yeah,
And yeah.
280 characters a tweet is not enough to obviously fully uh, get one's point across. But I mean, that's the point of Twitter, though. Twitter's entire business model is made upon these kind of fights and the Twitter account of the day, essentially. Oh, who's the guy that we're pointing at today on the homepage? Just that kind of shit. And then of course you get all the fighting and even some infighting out of that. It's just discourse, baby. It not be fun.
I think the problem is that the waters have been so disturbed by decades of propaganda and misinformation and disruption that when in the early 20th century we had a lot more of a clear picture of what we should be doing, now people have kind of fallen out of that habit for so long that we like pick stupid fights, argue, you know, way more than we need to. I think generally there needs to be a lot more listening in good faith. Now, watching out for bad faith arguments, finding out what might they be using to try to trick us, and be skeptical and when that might arise. But honestly, there needs to be a lot more genuinely listening to opinions, because like if there are because like I have certain criticisms of certain anarchist takes, especially the teenage ones that don't really have a theory behind it. They just kind of like any government bad, like very simplistic kind of
Oh no,
teenager
yeah,
logic.
not like, yeah,
But
God.
but there are like so I find his podcast really entertaining and I've learned a lot from it. But Robert Evans of Behind the Bastards is very like anti-tanky, and I'm especially skeptical about that because I've learned more about how Bellingcat, the group he works for, has funding from the National Endowment for Democracy, which is funded by Congress. So I'm kind of like, oh, and also he's worked with the CIA before, I think. So like that stuff makes me like, uh, but like, so like he'll like kind of be anti-tanky in a way where I think he's just being very just like outright like not wanting to listen, like, oh, you support he'll try to play it more nuanced, but I feel like on certain elements he's like, if you support certain things, I'm gonna assume these things about you. And also on the contrary, I feel like there are more reactionary types within the auth left space. Angie Speaks is weird. She has weird takes. I was talking with someone about this. Like, she's probably auth left, and she has some real weird takes, and I don't understand some of them. But like, I really feel like we need to be, in general, listening more because, like,
Hello, hello, hello. Ah, jeez, why is my mic muted?
oh geez.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I was just butting in for a second to say, because you're talking about Angie Speaks. It's like I've heard that name before, but I don't think I've seen anything from that creator in particular.
She
Uh,
seems to be aligned with kind of like Peter Coffin and
mm,
maybe Caleb Maupin, and I know less about him, but people think he's very weird. And he's kind
I
of gone against BreadTube. He like recently
oh
did a
yeah,
he
okay.
recently did a book called BreadTube Serves Imperialism. So like those kinds of like they've like Peter Coffin, Caleb Mop, and Angie Speaks. They're like in this weird little circle of very odd authoritarian left
Can it
people.
could it be argued that they're their own bread tube then? The
They'll create
I
their own.
mean, it's horseshoe theory. Oh God.
Now,
Um,
now I do think that I don't think it really is horseshoe theory, but I do
oh yeah,
think
no, it
there
was a joke. That was a joke. Clearly, obviously a
I
joke.
do think there are off left people who are reactionary in certain ways. Especially, I feel like they're being nostalgic for what like the Soviet Union and China used to be, to the level of like, yeah, but now we care about like gay people and stuff, and we should be moving past like so like I think Cuba was not great on that, but like now they like care a lot about it. So like that's an example of where they're moving forward past where they used to be. And some people get a little stuck in the nostalgia because, probably because that was when there was the biggest power and influence. But
uh, Cuba, iPhone, Venezuela, bottom text. I win. Left wing destroyed. There you go.
yeah, so I think in general though we should be listening in good faith, not assume. So like obvious. So like for me, like obviously I need, even in cases where I might have come to a disagreement with anarchists, I need to be listening to them when they're arguing in good
Oh
faith.
yeah.
And
Yeah. See.
anarchists need to learn to listen to, especially the lived experiences. I think is a big thing. Like, what, like, because the thing with anarchism is like it hasn't happened as much. So like, I feel like a lot of those anarchists need to be listening to, well, how does it? Does the revolution happen? Like it. You got to build something after that, right? So you got to learn. Well, what? How did it turn out in Rojava or Catalonia, and what about the alternate in Vietnam and Cuba, Soviet Union? How did that turn out? And like, even if we hold convictions like, oh, like I still don't agree that Stalin was a good person or something like that, be willing to listen to other people who have a different opinion on that when you can
Huh.
tell it's in good faith.
Yeah. No. I mean, I would say one thing. I'm a very level-headed person. I'd like to say I don't like conflict. I don't argue with people. I'm not just that kind of person. And with that kind of being, even though obviously very politically minded, in a lot of ways, um, it helps me to gather friends from different sides of the aisle. Now, that doesn't mean I'm friends with any Nazis or anything, thankfully, no. But I do have friends that are more towards the libertarian right side of things.
Yeah, me too.
Ex army vets, stuff like that, and I've had conversations with them about what are very much considered to be very taboo topics. At least things that a lot of people in, I would feel, in left spaces wouldn't even entertain, even if that question is in good faith, because I know it's good faith coming from these people who know me. They care about me. I care about them. They're just looking for uh for different perspectives as much as I am as well, and I try to educate where I can. I do the best I can, but I had what would have been a very hard conversation about transgender sporting events and in competitions and stuff like that. But I had it was a question that was asked in good faith by someone who doesn't have the perspective, who may have an athletics perspective on some things, but not necessarily the I guess the political side of it all, and no, they don't know trans people, and so forth. And so I talk to them in as good of faith as I can about these things, and be like, hey, there's certain things that we kind of need to like check through to have a conversation like this. But I don't know if this really makes any sense. I might just be rambling, but
Yeah.
again, just to reiterate, we can't, even no matter what the conversation I feel is. I feel like we can't just try to avoid tough conversations. We have to engage with people. And we, of course, but you need to understand, what's a good faith question, and what's someone just trying to take the piss.
Yeah.
That's obviously the hardest. That's the hardest bit of it all. But if you genuinely know people who care and love you and stuff like that, and you actually put forth that earnest effort to educate and to talk and be a level-headed good person with them, that makes an outstanding impact. And I feel a lot of what I've seen. Now, obviously, reality could be different, but from what I've seen, a lot of left discourse uh, is just isn't really full of that sort of thing. It's a lot of reaction, and damn the consequences. Because I'll be honest with you, I would have probably fallen out of the alt-right pipeline a lot faster if I had people, when I ask questions and so forth in groups that were kind of turning a little more on the left perspective, and we're getting a little more political in that side. And when I was in the alt-right pipeline, I would ask like a genuine question, and then I just get would laughed at and then banned from a group, and it's like that only kind of reinforced my already shitty opinions at the times. Like I asked, I know, it's a little hard, I guess, to kind of determine when you're reading something versus listening to someone in person, but if you, we just need to not jump down people's throats
Yeah, that's why
and take the time
liberal
to teach.
elitism is just so annoying.
It is.
And in high school, I knew people who said they were socialist, and I was curious because I knew no socialists and was told that it was evil. So I was genuinely curious, and they were kind of pricks about it, so I kind of was like, okay, I guess I'm not interested in learning what that is then.
Yeah.
So they probably could have grabbed me earlier if they had not been pricks about it.
Yeah. I mean, better late than never for people, of course, and especially in our situations. But
Yeah.
again, I just I don't get it. I don't get why people need to treat something like, again, what's the ultimate goal? To try and get more people to obviously kind of agree with your sort of political opinions and so forth. It's a very simplistic boiling down of overall end goals of quote unquote leftism, and so forth. But you need allies, of course, and by that you talk to normal, ordinary people, and many people who may not know your perspective, may not understand it, and or even may hate it.
Yeah.
Uh, but you just don't get anywhere by turtling up, or immediately drawing swords.
Yeah.
There needs to be a, hey, let's kind of read the room. Like, are we gonna have a good faith discussion on this? Like, I'm more than willing to talk with you and everything. And then if they're just gonna be shitheads, then whatever, do
You
what
are
you want
going to
there. But
have to talk to Republicans. And if you have
yeah,
and if you haven't realized yet that you need to do that, if you are still in the camp where you're like, well, they're beyond hope, then you're probably got too much leftover Democrat in you.
yeah,
And that's the biggest thing, because we've been talking about left unity. I think one of the biggest things that also needs to happen is give up liberalism. Don't bother with it. I reached a point where I went from, oh, the Democrats generally have these goals that are, probably technically more in line with what I'm thinking than what the Republicans do. But now I'm at the point where I'm like, it is not helpful to think that way. It is better to think of them as a separate group entirely it's not that I'm like, further, it's like when you get more whatever, you go from Democrat to socialist. No, it's a completely different thing. I think it's not helpful to think about them as connected, like maybe along an axis, but like really you have to think of them as fundamentally different ways of looking at the world. And so that means that you get beyond the kind of blue Democrat way of looking at the world and realizing that liberals are also imperialists, and you can find plenty of there's probably potential for plenty of future comrades within the Republican Party once they've been de-radicalized as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you said what I was trying to say, but with like way more grace and way more to the point. So thank you for saying what I was trying to say.
It's something I've been thinking about a lot, because I've been thinking about how I used to donate more to Act Blue stuff, and how I used to be starting... I was never super politically involved, so I was like starting to get into that stuff because of like the Bernie campaign. But like now I'm like, I'm only focused on the socialist perspective, and if I feel like it's worth my time, like I think there's a lot of opportunity to be done with the Bernie stuff, but if it's just a Democrat, then I don't care. It's not helpful to waste my time on something just because it's blue.
Yeah. That's certainly true. A line kind of needs to be drawn.
Yeah, you need, and like, so like left unity, but truly, individual liberals, that's different. But in terms of like the liberal establishment,
the liberal class, yeah,
you cannot tie yourself to that. You have to think about class, bourgeoisie, proletariat, petite bourgeoisie. You need to be thinking about that. Okay, so who am I gonna put in front here? Let's try to bring up Exmo a little bit. Oh, do you know why I called my drowsy Exmo?
Oh no, I do not.
Okay, so there's a kind of meme around the ex-Mormon community that one of the apologetics Mormons will come up with for like horses in the Americas was maybe they were tapers, and so the tapers become an unofficial symbol of ex-Mormons because of
Oh
that.
jeez, amazing. I will brand myself as such.
Oh man, the more you get out of that world and you look back on it, you're just like, wow, that sure was something, wasn't it?
It sure was. Man, I gotta tell you something interesting, because I've told you before, I work at a pawn shop. One thing I find really interesting in my position is that I am consistently working with very working class Republican people of many different races as well. My clientele is extraordinarily diverse. Mostly male, I would say, although I do have very, very frequent female customers. But the thing that's interesting is that I'm always hearing about the plight of the working man, while I am the working man, busting my ass at my job and everything, and then I get mechanics that will come in, the people covered in grease and dirt, are sweating, they smell horrid. They just got off of a 12-hour shift, and I hear them of their, gripes of work and so forth. And I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, you said you hate the Biden administration, you wish Trump was still here? I don't get it. What are you talking about? And then I try not to get too open about that kind of stuff in dialogue with my clientele because of my clientele's political stance and the fact that my boss is right there, and it's just a whole like I hate the fact that I need a job to survive, because otherwise I'd be just screaming about how much I freaking hate this situation and just go on a crazy socialist rant in the middle of the sales floor at work. Damn capitalism and its boot for silencing me, for speaking up of these issues to my clientele, telling them to radicalize, unionize, and attack their bosses.
Totally freedom of speech, except we completely incentivize everything for you to not have that.
Exactly. I'll tell you though, if it wasn't for the fact I need money to survive.
Well, that's how they get you.
That's how they get you. That's how they win. And it sucks, but I do everything in my power off the clock.
They force you to play the game. That's how.
They do.
Yep. Because there were people who weren't playing the game, and they were forced into the game regardless.
Mm-hmm. Sucks.
Alright. It is technically early, but very late for me, so I'm probably gonna try to fight Surge and then finish for the night. I would have finished way earlier if it weren't for this lovely conversation that we started having.
Sorry to keep you up.
No, it's fine. But I do have limits, and I shouldn't stay up too much into the morning because I will need sleep. So.
Yeah.
Okay, who am I gonna use? I'm gonna do Pikachu again. I'm just terrified of these Voltorbs because I'm like, yep, exactly that. They're gonna explode at any moment.
Yeah, those guys are freaking annoying. No, okay, not Raichu's okay.
Yeah, those guys are scary. I do not like them.
They are a freaky. Get your ass.
They are terrifying.
Played any other games other than just Pokemon recently?
I have played Twilight Princess. I'm getting very near the end. Nice. I started Ocarina of Time with my cousin because we've been doing our own games together too, and so we finished Resident Evil 4, and so we needed something else.
Nice.
Oh, and we also finished Silent Hill 3. That was our other one.
Oh yeah, you told me about Silent Hill 3. Remember that one.
Technically, we were doing BioShock Infinite, but that was with another cousin, so that other cousin wanted to see that even more, so we were just leaving that one on hold. So Ocarina, Twilight Princess. Sometimes I do Spyro with Eliza and Dylan, and that's mostly it lately.
Okay. Kind of a diverse palette of different game focuses, I suppose.
Yeah. These electric locks are annoying. Okay, so... Damn it.
Oh, my little brother and I, we started playing the 2020 Battletoads together.
Oh, no. How's that?
We were having a lot of fun with it in, like, the first, 90 minutes. Like, especially the hover bike stages. We were laughing just so hard at it. Just having a blast. And then we kind of noticed that it's more than just the beat 'em up and the hover bike stages. In fact, that this is a game that it's everything but the kitchen sink sort of thing, at least in terms of game design. and we're just getting like really bored and noticing a lot of very unpolished, rushed assets and just very not player friendly things that we kind of have to suffer through because the game says so, when it easily just could have been fixed by having a greater focus.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was very frustrating to a point, but still we're still gonna try and finish it. It's on Game Pass, you know, we don't have much of an investment into it. We can just drop it if we want to, but we're kind of determined to see it through, and then I kind of want to force my little brother to play the older Battletoads games with me as much as we can before we go insane, because those are bullshit. Battletoads is not good. Battletoads has never been good. I'll just say that right here, right now. And if you think otherwise, you are blinded by your nostalgia.
Alright, time to fight this lieutenant with our Pokemon. Ugh. This guy's a level 28. It's pretty high for where he's been at this point. That's a really good Raichu sprite. I really like that sprite.
It's so cute.
It's got good proportions compared to Red and Blue, where he's just big boy, just
Yeah.
just a
I
fatty.
love, I really do love Yellow. It's obviously the definitive Gen 1 experience.
Okay,
Nice
bye
one
bye
shot.
Raichu.
Nice one shot, bro.
I did want to really prepare though, because level 28 is a lot higher than most things were, so
Oh yeah.
just as a backup. Oh, I gotta put some TMs away so I can get the one that he wanted to give me. Let's put this away. Oh yeah, I gotta put the old Amber away too. We won't be needing that for a while.
Oh boy. Oh, I finally finished the Oni plays of Resident Evil 4. That was fun.
It was. I really have liked their Digimon one too, and Yeek. It's actually really interesting how it's really interesting
I need
how
to
they
catch
like
up.
that one. Like in its own way. It kind of reminds me of their Kingdom Hearts playthrough, where they kind of like it in some way, but like in spite of it almost. Because there's just like, you know, interesting stuff at its heart, even though it's bizarre.
Oh yeah.
It is interesting though, because I was expecting, oh, they're probably just gonna rip this apart, aren't they? But they've actually been surprisingly sympathetic. And just really upset at, like, stupid grinding and stuff like that. Oh, one of my, probably my favorite, Oni Plays moment, post, you know, them getting back together to do their plays with, Julian and Ding Dong, has been in one of the Digimon episodes. They made up a fake Eggman game, and it was just so funny. Like,
Oh my god.
they just like keep building on it, and it's, oh man, it's just a classic moment in my opinion. They uploaded a spring 2021 best of that has a lot of the best Ding Dong and Julian stuff in there.
That's sick. I might want to check that out. Though I was watching through the Yeek playthrough, but I kind of I don't know, I fall off a channel, like I fall off YouTube channels in like weird aspects for like a tiny bit, and then I come back to them like shortly after. So like I had like a couple months off of Oni Plays watching other things, and now I'm just back and I'm just grinding through the series that like completed or are close to completion. Still haven't finished Yeek yet. I'm like, I kind of just want to wait, I guess, until they're done, just get a playlist and then just boom. Maybe while I'm playing a multiplayer game or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. And I should probably get some sleep, so...
That you should.
Yes, I should. But, this awkward timing worked out. I haven't hung out with you in a little while, so... Yeah, So, later today, technically, if I have enough time, I will be planning on streaming the end of Simpsons Hit and Run and starting the Halo 3 campaign. Don't know when that will be. Might be late because I'm already going to sleep so late now.
Yeah.
But just letting you know that later today, I might be starting that up in case you're available.
It is possible. Sunday nights are usually nights that I will be playing games with my friend Cody, but I don't know. Depends on the time, because sometimes he can be late. So
yeah, I just need to catch up a little because Pfizer and stuff has kind of set me back a little, so I need to get back in the group.
Do your thing. Anyway,
right.
Yeah, just let me know. I'll let you know if I'm good too.
Yeah, so let me save again. Double save always, and then
good night.
Yeah, good night.
I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, now I just need to find someone to raid, and it is late, so I'm just gonna find someone quick. Oh, we could do him. Yeah, let's do him. Okay, so I'll send you guys on your way. I need to get some sleep because it is 9 in the morning here. And maybe later today I'll be doing some Simpsons Hit and Run and Halo 3 campaigns, so hopefully you guys can join for that. And with that, I will send you guys on your way and see you next time.